Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the roadmap to what's known as Total Quality Management, or TQM. It's a really deep philosophy for completely transforming how a business operates, and we are going to map it out step by step.
But first, let's kick things off with a pretty crucial question that, a lot of businesses face. What if the biggest thing holding you back isn't your competition, but that internal feeling of just being good enough? TQM is designed to shatter that mindset.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start with what TQM actually is. Then we'll get into building the foundation and drafting the master plan. After that, we'll see it in action, talk about the hurdles and the rewards, of course, and then we'll wrap it all up with the kind of transformation this can really bring about.
First up, what exactly is total quality? It's a huge shift in thinking, really. It's about moving away from just inspecting for problems and instead actively preventing them from ever happening.
At its absolute heart, TQM is a philosophy. It's this idea that quality isn't just some final check at the end of a production line. No, it's woven into the very fabric of a company. Everything it does, from the CEO's office all the way to the front lines. And the focus is always on the customer and on this relentless drive to keep getting better.
And this is where you can really see that night and day difference. The old way is totally reactive, right? You wait for a mistake to pop up at the end of the line, and then you fix it. But the TQM way, it's proactive. It's all about designing your processes so well that mistakes just don't happen. Quality stops being some department's problem, and it becomes everyone's job.
So, what's holding this whole philosophy up? Well, it's built on a really solid foundation of 8 core principles. Think of these as the essential pillars of the entire TQM structure.
These 8 principles are basically the engine of TQM. You've got things like a relentless customer focus, making sure everyone, and I mean everyone, is involved through total employee involvement, and using hard data for fact-based decision-making instead of just guessing. When they all work together, they create this incredibly powerful system for continuous improvement.
But here's the thing. Those principles are just words on a screen unless they are championed with real conviction from the absolute highest levels of leadership. Seriously, without their full-throated backing, any TQM plan is pretty much doomed from the start.
And we're not talking about just lip service here. That commitment has to be real, something people can actually see. It means leaders putting their money where their mouth is, allocating a real budget, showing up and participating in the training sessions, and modeling the exact behaviors they want to see from everyone else. That's how you signal that quality is a core strategy, not just another project of the month.
Okay, so once you've got that leadership buy-in, the foundation is set. Now it's time to move from the philosophy to a concrete plan. This is all about assessing where you are right now, figuring out where you want to go, and planning exactly how to get there.
This first phase is all about diagnosis. It's not about guessing what's wrong. It's about using proven tools to see reality clearly. You do a SWOT analysis, you audit the culture, you actually talk to your customers. By doing this, an organization can get a crystal clear picture of where it stands and what forces are going to help or hurt the change.
Now, training isn't a one-size-fits-all deal. It has to cascade down through the whole organization. So you see here, the executives, they're focused on the big picture strategy. Middle managers learn how to coach their teams, and the frontline staff, they get the practical, hands-on tools they need to make improvements every single day. The end goal is to turn all that knowledge into real, measurable results.
With a solid plan in place, it is time for the most important part. This is where we translate that strategy into the daily activities and behaviors of every single person in the company.
And this is so crucial. TQM is not about top-down commands. It's really about empowering all employees. You do that by creating these cross-functional teams, setting up suggestion systems that actually get listened to, and fostering an environment where people feel safe to speak up. That's how you give people the tools and the authority to really own quality in their own work. This is where that idea of fact-based decisions really comes to life. Look at this chart. Instead of a bunch of people in a room arguing about what they think the biggest problem is, the data makes it obvious. In this case, shipping delays are by far the #1 issue. This lets teams focus their energy where it's going to make the biggest difference.
Now, let's be real for a second. A huge transformation like this is never a perfectly smooth ride. So it pays to be realistic and look at the common roadblocks that can pop up, and, more importantly, the amazing benefits you get for pushing through them.
And these are the usual suspects, right? People naturally resist change.
Budgets can be tight. That initial excitement from leadership can start to fade. These are the classic barriers that can completely derail a TQM initiative if you're not ready for them.
But here's the smart play. You don't just hope these problems don't happen. You have a proven countermeasure ready for each one. To fight resistance, you go out and get some early, visible, quick wins. To keep leaders engaged, you literally tie their bonuses to quality metrics. You see, this turns those potential obstacles into opportunities to actually reinforce the mission.
Okay, so after navigating all those challenges, after putting in all that hard work, what's the tangible bottom line result? What's the actual payoff?
Well, the benefits are huge, and they touch every single aspect of the business. I mean, when you make better products, customers become way more loyal. When you have fewer defects, your costs plummet. And when your employees are empowered and engaged, morale shoots up, and you gain this incredible competitive edge out in the market.
All right, let's bring it all home. Let's summarize the ultimate transformation that a successful TQM journey can bring. It's a fundamental shift in how the business even sees itself.
And this quote just nails it. This is the end goal. Quality stops being just an expense you have to manage or a problem you have to fix. Instead, it becomes the very engine that drives innovation, customer loyalty, and long-term sustainable growth. It makes the whole organization stronger and way more resilient.
So, we've walked through the whole roadmap, from the core principles all the way to the very real rewards. The framework is clear. And that brings the final question right back to you and your organization. Where does your quality journey begin?